Hey guys, what is going on? It is Minituff, and welcome to another video. And in this video, I wanted to talk about the Air Force and the things that led up to me joining, and for useful information for you guys, because I know that when I was into looking up the Air Force and all the things that I was looking into, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I mean a lot. I watched probably all of the good ones out there and a lot of the bad ones, because if you've looked up videos on the topic, you know that there are a lot of videos, only a handful of good ones. There's a lot of really bad ones where they are playing really bad rap music in the background, or they're using their webcam and it's like the quality's like really bad, or they're using it off their phone and it's vertical video, or there's a lot of bad ones out there. I know if you've looked it up, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm hoping this can be one of the better ones. Not saying it's not saying it's the best video or anything, but it should be decent enough for you to at least get through. So anyway, this is just going to be me talking about the things that led up to me joining, because I'm going to be leaving here in about a week. September 23rd is the day I leave. You actually go to the processing station the day before and all that stuff. So I have about a week left. So I wanted to make a couple videos before I went in, because I know basic training will wipe my mind full of everything that they want, and I'll be Mr. Roboto in there. Not really, but you know what I mean. They're going to be giving me a lot of information, and while I haven't gone in yet, this is going to be fresher than it would be if I waited another 2 months to do it. So I'm going to do a couple videos. I hope that I have time to do all of them, but I have a couple videos planned out, so hopefully I will get to that. But right now, so this is for me, so I can look back on these videos, and this is for you guys who are looking to join or really need entertainment. But yeah, anyway, so the decision for me, it wasn't never it is now, but there was never a point where I was like, okay, I'm totally going to join. This is what I want to do. It was kind of what happened was I was going through high school, and they, my parent, every single time I talked to my parents about grades, they were always like, okay, you want to get A's and B's, and you're pretty much good for scholarships. And we found out that as I went through school, that A's and B's are, although they're good, they're not gonna cut it for a full scholarship or enough that I would be able to support myself and just the scholarship alone. So you could, but it would be really difficult to work a part-time job, pay for school, pay for your books, still go to school, still maintain your good grades, if you know what I'm talking about. So I did manage to get A's and B's all through high school, except for freaking Spanish class. That one was hard, and I slacked. But, so I was, and then it was a lot of my fault. I wasn't really looking towards applying for scholarships. So, for me, I was like, okay, crap, now college is actually going to be a big deal. I thought it was just going to be handed to me, and that was kind of a bad mentality. But anyway, so one night I go out to dinner with my family, and I've told this story before, but we go to some Burros or something. It's a Mexican restaurant. I don't know why I remember this in detail, but we go there, and my uncle, he was in the Army, and he works for University of Phoenix, and he helps get people transitioning from military life to civilian life, and he helps them get set up with jobs and all that kind of stuff. So he knows about a lot of this stuff, and he's always tried to talk to me about the military, and I've always really pushed it to the back of my mind, because it's something that you see all the videos, or you see all this stuff about how crazy the Army is, and they're going to war with this or all this crazy stuff. So I always kind of dismissed it, but I was sitting next to him, and I couldn't ignore him. So I'm sitting there, and he's telling me, okay, well, they'll pay for this, they'll pay for this, they help you with this, you can get college credits here, you can do this. So he was telling me a lot of stuff, and I was like, oh, that actually does sound pretty good, and my plan isn't going the way it should. So he was telling me about it, and I was actually, okay, fine, I'll look it up when I got home. So I went home, I look up YouTube videos, a lot of them like this. So, you may be in the same boat looking at YouTube videos about the Air Force, and you happen to find mine. Or you may be a subscriber and you're watching this because, you saw it in your box. But so I started looking up the videos, and I was like, okay, it's not that bad, actually. There's a lot of great benefits that come from it financially, and, on yourself. You learn a lot of the discipline, and you learn I don't know if you call it a world-class education about the job and the field that you're going into. So my job is called Cyber Transport Systems, and it's a lot of internet and IT based stuff. So I'm going to have really good knowledge if I learn right. They're going to teach me well about all the things that I need to know for my job. Of course, you can get this out of college, but where else is it paid for? And where else do they pay you to do it? And, where else do you get benefits of, like free health and medical and dental, or, they pay you to go to school when you get out. So there's a lot of great benefits to doing it, not just, you're not like, oh my gosh, you just want money. And of course, money, the money is probably the biggest reason that I'm looking towards joining, but there's a lot of, other great reasons, because you're supporting, the cause. Like the people respect or not look up to, but when you're in a military family, I guess it's always viewed as something. This is really hard to put. Okay, I have absolutely no idea how to word this, but all I know is that some people will hate the military a lot. They'll be like, spit on you killing babies in Afghanistan. But then a lot of other people really think it's a good thing. They're like, thank you for serving my country, or thank you for your service, all that kind of stuff. Like I was going to set up my banking account, and I was telling him, I was like, okay, well, I have, my contract, so can I get the military benefits for my banking account? He's like, yeah, thank you. And he shook my hand. I was like, oh, that's really good. You do a lot of work and a lot of things, but you also get a lot of respect from people in that sense. So a lot of stuff compiled, and I was like, all right. So then at that point I wasn't set on joining the Air Force, but I kind of set aside getting scholarships and applying. So then I kind of got screwed because I didn't apply for anything, and nothing came up because you don't, so I was like, you know what, I guess I can't do nothing, so I'll do it. And then there was never a solid decision, but my actions represented that I was going through it. I kept talking to my recruiter and everything like that. Anyway, this video is a lot longer than it needed to be, and I haven't even talked about the steps of going in. So yeah, I guess for you guys, if you're interested in joining, the first thing you have to do is make the decision, and doing what you're doing right now is, I guess, a good part of that. Watching YouTube videos, looking up information online is all a great way to help you with your decision. So if you have any questions, ask me. I haven't been in, so I can't help you that much yet. But, obviously once I'm in, I will answer all your guys' questions, because I have a lot of questions still. So anyway, the first thing you want to do is go and contact your recruiter. And the way to do that is you go to airforce.com. There's a button at the top. It says contact or recruiter. Click on that, and for like 4 months, it says 500 internal server error. And I'm really mad at airforce.com for not fixing it. And the base finder's down, so I can't check where the bases are because I'm making a list of ones I want to go to. But it's down, so go on Google Maps, search Air Force Recruiter. It will come up around your area. You can find them. It's not really difficult. So yeah, just find your recruiter and give them a call. When I did it, I was actually too nervous to call, so my uncle, the one who talked to me about all this stuff, he did it for me. And yeah, I know it's weak sauce. So he did all that for me. He got the appointment scheduled, but you can just call him, and you can walk in on his office. But if he's doing something, most of the time I'm in there sometimes, and people will walk in, and he's like, okay, I'm talking about sensitive personal information. Can you come back later? Or he's like, okay, I have a guy coming in a couple minutes. Can I schedule an appointment? And everyone's like, yeah. So getting a hold of him is any way possible. My recruiter's like, all right, you can contact me by phone, email, text, pigeon, smoke signal, fax. He says all that stuff because really they don't care how they get you. They come to the high school sometimes. So if you have guys coming to your school, talk to them there. So that's just the best thing to do. And make sure that you're talking to the right recruiting branch that you want to go into. Because if you talk to the Army, they're going to want to put you through all the Army stuff. And it's kind of difficult because once you're talking to a recruiter, like I'm talking to the Air Force, I had an Army guy call me because I took the ASVAB at school. And I was like, he's like, oh, you want to see what the Army can offer you? And I'm like, sorry, I'm already going through with the Air Force stuff. And he's like, oh, okay. So just make sure that you start with the branch that you want the most. You can always switch until you swear in and sign your contract, but it's a lot easier because they will really push you to go through it. And so just, I mean, my recruiter's really chill. If I call him up and it's like, hey, I want to leave, I'm not going to go through the Air Force anymore. He's like, okay, tell me why. He'll contact his supervisor and he'll probably call me, and then he'll be like, why do you want to leave? And I'll be like, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to leave, and then they'll be like, okay, you're out. Because the Air Force at least has a lot of people trying to get in, so they're fine. They're like, you're out. Someone else is waiting to take your place. I don't know how the other branches are. I know the Army's huge, and they're always taking in people. They seem like they're still trying to recruit people, so it seems like they still need guys. So I don't know about the Marines or the Navy or anything like that, but I know at least the Air Force they're really cutting back. I don't know if that's because of budget cuts or because there's too many people in, or I don't know, but there's a lot of people trying to get in and there's too many, so we don't have enough room. Anyway, so the first step is to contact your recruiter. He'll schedule a date and come in, so you go in at that time. Always, at least my recruiter, he didn't care. He was like, okay, come in today. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm like, okay, I'll be there at 3. I just tell him that. So I show up at like 3 o'clock, and at this point I had my mom and my uncle with me, and it's always best to go with a parent, at least if that parent is not happy about the decision, because my mom was very, very skeptical about me joining the Air Force. She thought I was gonna, go to the Middle East or something and shoot people or get shot at. The standard things you think about when you think about the military. So she was really, really nervous about all that stuff. So, but the best thing that you can do for someone who is not happy about your decision or what you're doing, get them to talk to that recruiter or your recruiter, because they will really help. Like, once she talked to the recruiter, she was like, all right, James, I see I'm not happy about it, but I can tell you that it is a good decision. But, and she wasn't happy about it, but she was like, okay, I get it. I see what it can offer. I see that it's not as bad as I thought it was. I see the benefits, and so as we continue to talk to him, she warmed up, and now she thinks it's a great idea. So yeah, that's with that. Another thing you're going to be doing when you talk to your recruiter, this is backtracking here. When you first call him, he's going to ask you some pre-qualification questions. He's going to be like, okay, if you're a girl, he's going to be like, are you pregnant? Or if you're a guy, he'll be like, do you have a kid? Do you have a dependency? Are you married? Do you have any tattoos, piercings? Have you done drugs, law violations? Anything like that. He'll be asking you a lot of questions. This stuff can disqualify you, but it won't sometimes. But he just wants to make sure. He might ask you height and weight too, because they stress that a lot. You can go on airforce.com and find the height and weight requirements. So you can tell I'm close to my minimum weight. I'm like 10, 12 pounds over my minimum weight. Before, when I was first talking to him, I was like 3 pounds above my minimum. So he was like, get your weight up. We will kick you. They have to kick you out if you're not. They can't chip you out if you're below or above your maximum weight. So be within the weight requirements. They stress it a lot. So if say you're overweight right now, you're above your weight, you can still talk to your recruiter. They're not going to kick you out. But just make sure that you should start working on that. Yeah, so that's another thing. One more thing that your recruiter might have you do, this may not be in the first meeting, or this may be the second meeting. I'm not sure when this will happen. I didn't do it, but you will take a practice ASVAB if you haven't taken the ASVAB already. At least for me, I already knew, this was around October 30th. I think it was around Halloween time. I kind of knew that I was going down this path. So I took the ASVAB at school my senior year. So if you can take it at school, you can take it junior or senior year, I believe. Take it, because otherwise you're going to have to go down to the processing station and do it there, and it's kind of stressful doing all that stuff. You wake up at 4 a.m., you stay overnight at a hotel, and you take your test in a room with a computer. I would say take it at your school if you can. But if you haven't taken your ASVAB and you're done with high school, you say, he might give you a practice ASVAB, and what this is are you smart enough to take the real ASVAB? If you really fail the practice ASVAB, they might not waste resources and send you down to take the real one. So just know that don't I wouldn't even, don't study for something like this. He might, if say you're under the minimum requirements for the Air Force on the practice, he might be like, all right, do your studying, then we can schedule for the real one. But at least for me, I didn't take the practice ASVAB. All I did was sign a bunch of papers. You sign your life away on all these papers. I don't even know, like, the first time I was there, I was reading everything I was signing. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm reading it. He's like, just sign it. So, yeah, just be knowledgeable that you're going to be signing a lot of things, giving a lot of information out. So just know that stuff. And then the last thing he's going to do is he's going to try to schedule your trip down to the MEPS. And MEPS stands for Military Entrance Processing Station. And that's where you take your ASVAB if you haven't done it, and you get your physical done, where they make sure that your body is capable of surviving at the military. So that is going to be in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. It might be a 1 or 2 part video depending on how long it is. Like, this video is already a lot longer than I wanted to be because I managed to ramble on. So if the video is this long, I'll cut it in 2 parts. So I'll talk about MEPS in the next video. So for now, I guess stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.